so that everyone's here. And good morning to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, and to those who will be joining us a little bit later. I am so excited for today. We are in for a special treat. We have Anthony from Paycor with us today, who will be speaking a little bit more about really tackling some of the challenges with talent acquisition within the nonprofit sector. Paycor is a proud partner of ours here at Nonprofit Staten Island and has successfully helped some of our organizations out in terms of really how to leverage software like Paycor's and other partnerships that they have access to give organizations that competitive edge. So I'm really excited, Anthony, to have you here to speak just on the things that you're hearing in the field. I know we've been talking a lot about retention and how to tackle some of these challenges that we've been seeing in the HR front. So super excited. Everyone here, of course, asks tons of questions. We are being recorded, so if anyone would like to review this afterwards, you can ask for access to the video, and or if you have any questions, I'm sure Anthony would be more than happy to share his contact information. So without further ado, Anthony.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks for having me, Tatiana, again. So happy to meet everyone here. I know we're all on this call because there are struggles with organizations right now with trying to not only recruit the top talent, retain the top talent that you have, and also engage them. And it's tough, right? We're in a war on talent, so I appreciate the opportunity to shed a little light, share some industry trends, and share a little bit about Paycor's story and how we've actually helped some mutual clients and members from the nonprofit association. So just want to share a quick agenda. So some introductions, who I am, who I serve, Paycor, a little bit about us. I'm not sure if you know who we are, but I'll give you a few reasons why you should. Who we serve as a company. Actually, 30% of our 41,000 clients now and growing are in the non-for-profit space. So we are industry experts in that. And we'll share a little bit of best practices, how to recruit top talent, how to leverage certain recruiting software, and then engaging and retaining your employees as well, and some trends around those. All right, so we'll just get into it. So myself, I've been with Paycor now over 3 years. So my background in consulting specifically, and more recently around the nonprofit sector. So I'm actually a partner of the Staten Island Non-for-Profit Association, working closely with Tatiana and Co. Also on the Queens Chamber of Commerce, on the non-for-profit committee, as well as on the HIA in Long Island, where I sit. Just a little bit about me. I'm a big soccer guy. I love, collecting watches. I'm a big car guy as well. So that's where my habits are and my hobbies, and also obviously helping out and giving back to the local communities that I am a part of. So Paycor, has anybody here on the call heard of us before? I know there's a lot of pays in the industry. Okay, we got one hand up. Okay, cool. Very good. Well, here's a few reasons why you should. So we've been around for over 30 years now. We're headquartered in the U.S. in Cincinnati. We've got over now 41,000 individual clients and over 45,000 EINs. And actually, what's unique about us is 50% of our clients come from us from partners such as Tatiana, or even our clients that refer us to other prospects who are eventually our clients now. So one of the unique differentiators to us is we have a 93% retention rate of our clients. And that's a really high number for two reasons. We do things a little differently. One, in our software, giving our clients the leg up, and then two, in our service. That's where I come in. So not only am I on the sales team over here, I also service a lot of my clients and also help with implementing them, because I know implementation could be a nightmare, and that's why a lot of organizations tend not to move. But there is a potential to be better out there, and that's why I always hop in on those calls. All right, keep things moving. These are a few of the clients that we have in the Staten Island area, so these may look familiar. A couple of my personal clients, a Central Family Life, Illuminart, and more recently the Staten Island Ferry Hawks. And we're very proud to service our clients in the Staten Island area and also in New York. We actually serve over the 50 states as well. And we also can help internationally if you do have an international component to your payroll. We also have third-party partners that will have a seamless transition for that as well. All right. But let's get into why we're all here today, right? What motivates employers? And I want this to be fairly, active. So, if you want to come off mute and interact, would love that. But just a general overview of what motivates employees, right? Obviously, besides your compensation, your benefits, 60% of employees in organizations, have strong coaching cultures and rate themselves highly engaged, meaning that only 40% of your organization is not. That's a huge number. And obviously, we need to turn the tide in the culture war within our own organizations. And Paycor is included in this. We're not immune to this. Every organization has this. Uh, Typically, companies with a higher level employee engagement are more profitable. And it's over about 21%. These figures are actually for 2022 into 2023, the first quarter. And also, typically, when employees are engaged by a leader they can trust, and I know that firsthand because I left my previous organization for a leader or from a leader, and also came to Paycor for a leader. So it's true, you don't really leave your organization, you do leave leaders. So it's obviously important to empower them. That's all what Paycor is about too, is empowering your leaders so that actually trickles down and has an effect on your company's culture and your employees. But any questions or anybody want to discuss, what motivates their employees and certain strategies they're implementing to maybe engage or motivate their employees? Well, Tatiana, what have you heard on your end from your members as far as motivation goes, or company culture, recruiting, retention, anything around that?
Yeah, I know that while pay might be a challenge just based on people's, actual budgets and, getting paid for grants and deliverables, folks have been a little bit more lenient in terms of if employees can work from home, that seems to be something that seems to be an opportunity there, and other benefits that aren't quite touted, like more vacation days, a better work-life balance,
Yep.
more opportunities to just get to know the team and understand the mission.
Sure.
Yeah, I
Sure.
do say we do some similar stuff. We have we definitely have pretty robust paid time off policies, and we know our pay rates aren't going to be better than the for-profit world or the hospitals or things like that, but we try
Sure.
to do what we can as a nonprofit. We have, we try to do staff engagement events so our staff can get to know each other, kind of not just in the day-to-day grind of work. We had a really great employee staff appreciation day last week, actually. And yeah, just trying to keep our pulse on, employee engagement surveys and trying to get more training to our managers. Like you were saying, the managers are the key.
Yep.
So we're
Sure.
working on that perpetually.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not easy. I get it, and we're fully remote in Paycor, outside of in Cincinnati, where our headquarters is. We actually have a physical location, but in New York, I have a team of about 8 that cover the Long Island and Manhattan space, and that's excluding, of course, we have New Jersey and upstate, but just about everywhere in our 50 states we're remote. So it's tough to obviously have a differentiator in terms of company culture. But like you just said, and we try to have a happy hour. We try to meet in person, staff days. And sometimes we'll actually do that for our clients too. Some of our nonprofits will actually rent out a food truck and send it to their location to give back that way. Because we're big proponents of giving back. And actually, 2 days out of the year, each individual at Paycor, every employee, will actually donate their time for the day to either clients or another organization, nonprofits though, within their location. But yeah, do you do anything, or does anybody on this call do anything around or offer a benefit such as earned wages earlier than their paycheck? Because I know that's a trend that we also offer too, but that's obviously very trendy now, and especially with the current climate of the economy, it's a really, really powerful benefit. Now, all right, well, we have this company that we partner with called PayActive, and what they do is they offer 65% of earned wages prior to their pay date, up to 48 hours prior to it. And so obviously that helps alleviate some of the pressure to pay certain bills or whatever it may be. I know that's a free benefit that we offer at no cost to either the employer or the employee. And what's unique about that, we're the only company that offers this with zero negative cash flow, meaning that we actually are fronting that money, especially that's crucial in the nonprofit world, as we know. So that's another really unique differentiator, not only for Paycor, but your company as well, should you offer that benefit. You know, in the nonprofit world, obviously, where you can't necessarily compete head to head with some of the for-profit sector, roles in terms of compensation, you definitely can on the benefit side. Unfortunately, a lot of I know myself when I have these conversations with a lot of prospects or even clients now, is finding a way to reach their employees on what they actually make, besides the dollar and cents. What the benefits actually look like. So, for example, if you're making $50,000 salary, realistically, their total compensation may be 75,000 with the benefits included, but not everybody looks at it like that. So we actually have our software break that down for individuals, because a lot of times you see today, people go down the road for $1 more an hour when that shouldn't be the case. If they love the company, love the culture, obviously you want them to stick around. And so that's one way we've actually combated that. We see a high kick in retention. All right, so we'll keep it moving. So attracting talent, obviously here, we're all trying to grow our organizations, right? Get more butts and seats. What recruiting efforts has anyone had here? Any specific, HR representatives that are doing that? A specific recruiter? Are you outsourcing that? Do you have any software that's doing that today? Oop, skipped ahead here.
I think that really depends on the size of the organization. It goes from everything from word of mouth and trying to get the jobs posted on job boards and some online resource, whether it be Facebook groups or something like that. But the bigger organizations I've noticed have asked for maybe recruiters or have really a little bit more expert help with that, or have budgets to support their Indeed search or some of that stuff.
Right.
We have recruitment through our current like HRIS system, but then we do a lot of manual posting around and trying to build relationships with like Workforce One and other job companies and like people that place people in jobs and go to job fairs. Once in a while we work with recruiters when we do have the money.
Sure. And so when you do your recruiting now, right? You said there's a lot of manual work still as far as maybe posting on certain job boards. Do you know what job boards you're utilizing and where your best candidates are coming from?
I mean, our primary probably is Indeed, which feeds through our HRIS system, that and ZipRecruiter, which we actually don't get a lot of hits on. But then we post a lot to like Handshake. That's one of the ones we have to do manually. It's like a college jobs boards, distribution jobs boards. And the local colleges are on there. So it's really important that we're posting there. We have the Staten Island Chamber of Commerce job board. We have to manually post there. The nonprofit. There's a few other places. The Foundation Center has a job board. So.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're already outsourcing that, regardless of if you're using our system or another partners. It's very powerful to utilize that. And today, everything, I'm sure you've heard AI, right? That's the big driver in a lot of things today. So we actually have a component of AI. We call it our smart sourcing. And that's the reason I bring, where or where you're thinking of getting your best candidates from, because we do that for you in the form of AI. What we do is typically we'll go out and connect to about 1,000 job boards. So like you just mentioned, your Indeeds, your LinkedIn Easies, your ZipRecruiters, Monsters, so on and so forth, and seamlessly track those applicants and then onboard them up. It's obviously into our systems. That alleviates a lot of that manual workflow in terms of onboarding and rekeying information. But the really unique differentiator, whether that's us or anyone else, is obviously when you know where your best recruiting is coming from, you're not going to waste any dollars, precious dollars, on going elsewhere, whether that be through a recruiter, whether that be through a job board like ZipRecruiter that you're not really getting many hits on, right? You could obviously allocate those funds somewhere else. And a lot of times it's expensive, right? And I don't know if you have a contract with Indeed, but I know one of my clients did, and they were spending about $12,000 a year just on Indeed alone, which you're nodding your head, so I'm sure you know that pain. Well, whether that's Paycor or someone else, typically it's probably very similar to implement one of our systems, and not the payroll portion. I just mean on the recruiting side. And that could alleviate a lot of that stress, because not only are you getting access to different job boards and linking it to your own onboarding system, you're not paying Indeed anymore. You're not leaning on just one source of truth for your applicants. So it really broadened your horizons without really giving up anything from a monetary standpoint. And like we talked about, it's always empowering leaders, right? So whether you have an internal recruiter or you do any recruiting yourself per department, I know in Paycor, we're larger, Anthony, so we've got about 2,500 or so employees. And I was recruited here. We had a recruiter in the New York metro region that ended up recruiting me, but also it empowers my leader on my team, my regional sales director, to actually recruit himself too. So this isn't by any means a replacement for a recruiter. You could use it like that if you don't have someone internally, but it's also to empower recruiters to utilize our software too. So it's really double fold, which is great. So I know we talked about attracting talent. Now, how about retention? So I know we spoke about one benefit before. Outside of the typical early wage access, what is everyone doing today in terms of maybe benefits as far as like a 401(b)? We mentioned some PTO policies. Is there anything around benefits, whether that's on the retirement side or the medical, that you're doing today?
Yeah, we have a 403(b) that has matching after 2 years, and that actually escalates every other year up to 10 years.
Oh, great.
We have free basic life insurance for our staff while they're working here. So that's something. We have an EAP that's pretty robust that our staff can access for support in a lot of areas.
Okay. Do you do any voluntary benefits?
Oh yeah, a ton.
Oh,
That they have to pay into. I was just mentioning the more
right.
fees, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have like supplemental life insurance that's in addition to the basic life accident. We actually thankfully have the benefit of a larger agency that helps us with our benefits. We have a parent company that does that, or else we wouldn't be able to do most of them. But
Right. Well, that's what we do best. We connect with a lot of brokers too, because we're agnostic in who we work with. We're an open architecture. So typically we actually get referred a lot of our clients from our partners and vice versa. Should we, take clients off of a PEO or whatever it may be to give you actually more benefits. So that's great to hear that you're leaning on them for that. And yeah, I mean, it could be anything from pet insurance, right? Like I know I have a dog at home. I know many people have dog, cats, and whatever it may be. That's something that's important to people. I consider my my little one at home almost a kid. In many ways, she is. But I'm sure a lot of that resonates to you and your employees. So that's just another avenue you could really explain to them, like, hey, this is another benefit, because we're now not only touching your individual pocket, but now this is also your life, right? Between the life insurance, between your pet insurance, between commuter benefits. So I know, Staten Island is technically in New York City, right? 5 boroughs. So you offer any commuter benefits, any HSA, FSA. So there's a lot of different benefits that you can implement to make your employees a little bit more sticky. Obviously, the number one thing being culture, but I think this all has to do with one another and correlates.
do you actually have suggestions on like the best practices of explain? Because we actually have all of those benefits, and we've been trying to really highlight them to staff, but like it just feels like they either kind of, no matter how much you try to explain it, they just kind of glaze over, or because they're just so unfamiliar with different types of benefits, or don't really realize how much resources they have in front of them. Some of them do. I mean, we
Sure.
definitely have a handful of staff who are enrolled in
Right.
all of our benefits, but I feel
How
like
are
it's
you doing?
hard when they're starting and there's so much going on to really get them engaged in like all the opportunities they have.
Yeah, and even young folk, like I know myself. I just got off mom and dad's plan last year, and so I was like a headless chicken. I had no idea how to enroll in benefits. I actually missed it the first couple months, my first year at Paycor. And now thankfully I'm on it. But yeah, I mean, like you said, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of benefits that I don't even know that we have a lot of times. Right now I do. Obviously, I'm familiar in the role, but like you said, when you just start, I don't know these things. So my question is, what are you utilizing today as far as enrolling those benefits? Do you have an online benefit portal?
Yeah, also through our HRIS system. So we do we talk vaguely about it in the first day. They get our benefits guide in their onboarding packet. We send it out again towards the end of their first week with all their instructions on how to do their enrollment. We talk a little more in depth during orientation about it. Then we of course have our open enrollment meetings every year to re-explain everything.
Sure. Sure. What are you using for that? Is that a like an Ease or Employee Navigator burning portal for your benefit admin?
Oh no, we're just running them ourselves, the
Oh, so
meetings.
it's manual.
Yeah. But to
Ah,
enroll people, do it through our Paylocity we have.
okay, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so that's another good system too. So yeah, as far as administering the benefits, that's obviously good that you're on an online platform. But yeah, I think that the best thing you could try to do, what we usually do too, and here the way it's explained to me is you have internal meetings and it can be very quick because no one likes meetings. But we typically do like a 15-20 minute bullet point breakdown of, hey, these are what we do offer. If you do want any information, you know, ping us, let us know. Because I think once you start going into the weeds of X, Y, and Z benefits, I think you lose interest. I know myself, I'm a millennial brain. I'm on to the next thing in 2 seconds, like a goldfish, right? And I know a lot of people are similar. So what we try to do is almost like going fishing. You kind of dangle the worm, so to speak, and get pique my interest, and then obviously reach out to whoever your focal point is on that internally. But we've seen a lot more success on that too, because now I've used, my HSA here. I've used a lot of the commuter benefits should I go into the Manhattan office, because we have a shared space there too. Pet insurance, so on and so forth, or even Pay Active. I've used that once or twice. Also, we also have a help desk. So should you need to call somebody about a loan, a lot of times to get certain employee information on the weekends. So that's actually open 24/7 for us and for employees, which is a great tool too. Because I know sometimes on the weekends you really can't access certain things or have a phone call with service that you need. But that's also a big benefit that we see. But yeah. Another thing I wanted to mention, as far as the recruiting and retention world that we see today, I know it costs about 130% to replace, if not more, probably now, to replace somebody should they leave your organization. So as far as trying to mitigate people leaving, is there, besides vesting certain benefits, is there any other benefit that you're offering for them to stay? Any recruit or retention bonuses? Because I know that was actually introduced to a couple of my clients and they've actually ran with that. I saw a 20% increase in retention over the last 2 years. That was actually Stony Brook Hospital, one of my clients. So they actually utilized our recruiting and AR smart sourcing. And so not only did they grow their headcount, I think it was about 60 or 70 heads over the last 18 months. It's actually, I just checked the LinkedIn Insights, and you guys can do this too. It's actually up 18% the last 18 months, which is really significant because now you're talking about, from 550 to now around 610, 620 employees and growing. So that's a really, positive sign. All right. Well, that's enough out of me. Would like to make this an open forum and just, kind of share best practices and just talk through some of the things that everyone's doing here. Because I know we've got a few different people on here with different backgrounds. So would love to kind of open it up to the floor.